kickoff is
Yay.
right here, and we're setting and we're setting up some showdown lineups. Like that's all we're doing. If you have questions, and look, even season-long questions, should I have this guy in at wide receiver? Should I start whatever the case may be, let us know your questions right here at Win Daily Sports. WinDailySports.com is sponsored by the Sharp app and also the Thrive app as well. What we got for you, if you sign up using the promo code WINDAILY, there will be an instant 100% deposit match up to $100 for new users and $100,000 guaranteed contest for NFL Week 1 at $20 entry, $20K to first. So a great sponsorship here with Thrive. Thanks to them for jumping on board here at Win Daily Sports. Now, Stoweby, showdowns. Let's start out with this because it's the first showdown of the season. Maybe we forgot how to do this a little bit. What do you look for? What are your strategies for showdown, and especially this one between the Bucs and Cowboys?
I mean, honestly, it's the same thing that we take with every showdown slate is you're likely not going to do a whole lot with the single lineup. You want to get a few lineups put in there, and you want to put different scripts together, and then you want to match those players up to those game scripts that you've kind of set in your head. Like if you think one team's going to get away and they're going to start running the ball, you want to concentrate on the run game and the defensive side there. On the other side, you want to concentrate on the passing game and the quarterback play and things like that. And you just kind of mix and match your different scenarios and your different players and hope that, whichever one of those scripts just kind of is the dead nuts, because that's pretty much what you have to do to be able to make any real money when it comes to showdown. You have to hit the dead nuts.
Yeah, you're trying to figure out the game script and how this game could potentially go. And this one is a little bit difficult to do that.
Yes,
because,
yes.
We're seeing this spread go up to 9. This is a really good Dallas offense that I'm sure we want to get in our season long, so we want to get in this game. But, it's a pretty tough matchup in Tampa Bay. This one is always tough. So how do you approach, especially a game like this one with how hard it is? But it's the kickoff of the season, though. Like, we don't know if either of these teams are going to be a little bit rusty. We don't know if there's going to be a Super Bowl hangover for Tampa Bay. Just, with this one, what are the possible scenarios we're looking at here?
Well, I don't think Brady's, he's gotten used to winning Super Bowls and coming back next season. So I'm not really too concerned with that.
He's done that a couple times.
Yeah, he's done that once or twice. He's pretty good at it. The thing that's tricky about Tampa is that, actually, I don't know how much of it's Tampa, how much of it's Tom, but he doesn't take his foot off the gas when he's playing. So, when you're looking at the run game for a lot of these scripts with teams that go ahead, you really can't look at Tampa in the same way because they're still going to continue to run their offense. That's just the way Brady has always been. He's always been under the mentality, if you don't want me to score points, then you should stop me from scoring points. So I'm not necessarily on that running game as much. I might get a few shares of, guys like a Leonard Fournette or a Rojo or something like that. But I'm not going to be really overweight on it. I'm still going to go after some of the passing targets just because it is Tampa, and that's just the tendencies that they have.
Yeah, for sure. And we do have projection model for this game. We have it for the classic DFS contest, but we also have it for showdowns as well. So if you go over to the projection model, you first have to sign up, get a gold membership, WinDailySports.com, use the promo code NFL2021 for a gold membership for 6 months for $100 off. So a $299 value down to $199. $100 off. You use the promo code NFL 2021 for a 6-month gold membership. And when you get that, you'll get the projection model, and you can use the projection model for showdown slates as well. So let's get into the showdown slate. Oh, look at this. Are you ready for this, Stoweby? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Oh, it's back. Where are we going here first?
I don't know. Check your microphone. I think you might have broke that thing.
What? Did I break it?
No. You're good. You're good. It got
okay. All right. I thought I broke it. Jeez. Woo. Give me a heart attack. We're live. No, but where captain spot. That's always that's the first one we kind of look for here. Yep. Is where to kind of potentially get our captains.
The big boy chalk is going to be Tom Brady. I mean, I think we already know that.
The big boy chalk.
It's the way that it's going to be. I mean, Dallas's defense is far from frightening. So,
Right, yeah.
He's going to be the highest owned guy, and for good reason. He's probably gonna have a pretty damn good day. He doesn't tend to get rusty. So, and as far as we probably want to find a target maybe two for Tom to match up, and then I'm personally going to be very, very underweight on Ezekiel Elliott on the other side, and I'm just going to concentrate on the passing on the passing targets
on both sides, right?
Yeah. This is going to be one of the times where I'm going to attack the passing game on both sides. Typically, if it was a team that's going to get ahead by a lot, I would go after running game. But like I said, with Tampa, it's a different animal. It's a different play style. They're not gonna sit there and run the entire second half. What's going on, Tony?
Tony Jigsaw Cotillo dropping in. Maybe we need to get a few DFS plays from him. But yeah, I think you're right. We're sticking with the passing game. We're sticking with the quarterbacks. Ezekiel Elliott. If you want to try and be a little bit different, I don't know how many lineups he's going to be in. But I think you're right. We just have to stick with the passing game, and how you can get different is maybe going a little bit deeper into Tampa Bay's wide receiver depth chart. Getting a guy like Antonio Gates. Wow, wrong Antonio. Antonio Brown in.
If we get Antonio Gates in, I'm good. Let's do it.
Off to a great start this season. Game one, and I'm saying Antonio Gates instead of Antonio Brown. Yeah. You know what? Get Antonio Gates into all of your lineups. Great idea. I'm an idiot. But no, like looking at Antonio Brown, I think we could potentially look at Michael Gallup even instead of CeeDee Lamb, and instead of Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup's going to be on the field. Maybe he's the one that we should be going after. Is that how you're getting a little bit different? Is just a mix of combinations between those wide receivers?
Yeah, and honestly, Brown and Gallup are the two kind of contrarian wide receivers that I'm going to be looking at a lot today. Those are the two names that are going to pop up in my lineups a good bit, because like Jordan Whitehead, Buck safety, is going to be missing the game this week, and that was more than likely going to be a guy that was going to spend most of his time on Gallup. So if there is going to be a soft spot in that Bucks defense, it would come from Michael Gallup. Now, if the question is Dallas going to be able to protect long enough with Martin out this week? They're going to be throwing the ball. They're going to abandon the run by halftime, honestly, in my opinion. If everything goes according to the way that it looks like it's going to go, with that Bucks defense just smothering them for that first half, I think it's going to be nothing but Dak trying to do his best to sit there and uncork it the entire second half. And I think Gallup is the one that could sneak out and catch one and maybe get into the end zone. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, and I do want to talk a little bit about the tight ends, because both of these teams have tight ends that can get involved, and multiple tight ends that can get involved. Blake Darwin, Darren Schultz, and also Rob Gronkowski, OJ Howard. I just see it just caught my attention seeing OJ Howard this low. When he was healthy, he was good. He's coming back from an injury, so of course that's a concern. And Rob Gronkowski early in the year was still trying to knock off the rust of retiring for a year from the NFL. But I still think OJ Howard is going to be involved, and he's certainly a red zone target. Any chance for those tight ends? Like, how are you looking at the tight ends, or is there just so much of these wide receivers that are going to get involved, it's just not worth it?
Well, I think you're going to have to pay down for one, possibly two of the tight ends in your lineup, just because of the way that the pricing is going to be. Because if you're going to turn around and have somebody like, let's go ahead and put AB up at the top in the captain spot and just see then Tom Brady in there and see how much we have left.
And then Tom Brady in the flex spot, and boom.
Okay, so you can pretty much do whatever you want to at that point in time. Now
as long as you get OJ Howard in, and I guess is it just mix and match? How often are you mixing and matching these wide receivers between Dallas and Tampa? Is that basically what it's coming down to tonight? Just getting the right combinations?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, both of these teams they don't have narrow trees. They have lots of weapons that they can spread the ball out to, and that's what makes it I'm not too worried about getting too different when it comes to the builds this week, like going super, super low. Like anybody below, let's say, I mean, OJ Howard, anybody below that, I don't think you really need to waste your time, because there were so many skill position players on both of these teams that could do something, that you don't really have to go down to these guys that might catch one target for a touchdown. You got plenty of talented skill players on both sides. So it really is it's a mix and match. It's a really, really tough showdown to get started out with on week 1.
It is, because we're talking about two offenses that are potent. And, when we talk about season long for a lot of these guys, yes, season long, Michael Gallup is going to probably accumulate some large numbers, but we're getting already the frustration of, okay, is this a Mike Evans or a Chris Godwin day? Is this going to be an Amari Cooper day, or is this going to be a CeeDee Lamb day?
Yep.
It's so difficult and frustrating. And we knew that last season, but to start out the first game of the season, the first showdown with this, it's like, come on, man. Like, this is just banging your head against the wall kind of showdown.
And God forbid, Tampa gets up big and they decide to go ahead and give Godwin a rest. And then Scotty Miller comes in and catches like a 40-yard bomb in the second half, randomly out of nowhere. That's the type of stuff that's going to happen tonight.
It's going to happen all season long. Yes, we're going to get that. We're going to get Scotty Miller and even like Tyler Johnson going to get in the end zone. Like, are you kidding me?
Cameron Braid or something like that. I don't even think is Cameron even on the roster.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think he's somewhere else. I'm not even sure. I don't even know what's going on in Tampa Bay. But all I know is it's a lot. Now we do have somebody that wants us. Gio, any interest in Gio? To me, that's I get the comparison of Gio could be James White, but Gio's not only new with Brady, he's new in the system and in Tampa Bay in general. Like, is this I get it, but maybe not right now.
I do get it, but the thing that you got to remember about James White is he always went off when it's certain scripts, where it's scripts where not Tampa, but when New England would get behind by a little bit, or potent teams that
were
going to keep it, and they were kind of they put in their their pass catching package or their passing package, and Brady would utilize James White that way whenever there weren't injuries or anything like that. So if we're going to see Gio, we're going to see Gio, I think, in a lot of situations like that. If they were to, they're playing somebody like somebody like the Rams or like Kansas City or like Green Bay, a team that could potentially keep up with them. I'm not, that defense on Dallas doesn't make me think they're gonna do anything to even slow them down a little bit.
Right. So is there a potential in this one? Because the line is getting big. I mean, it's a 9-point spread, and it started out at 6.5. It's now at the 9 points. So if we maybe go in the way of what that spread is telling us, Tampa Bay should be in control of this game most of the time. And maybe there is the concern of Dak's injury, and he had the shoulder problems in the offseason. Not only had the shoulder problems, but coming off of a major injury. Let's just say Tampa Bay does get out to a big lead early on. I mean, is that possible enough for you to want to get maybe Leonard Fournette or of Ronald Jones into your lineup?
Yeah, I'm gonna mix a little bit of those guys in the lineup, because I do.
Who would you rather go with? Because to me, it's Ronald Jones. But
yeah, I've always thought Ronald Jones was the better back there for several years. But it's not what I think. It's oh God. I just, the coaching staff loves to bench Ronald Jones. They have for years for some odd reason.
So you're going to put in 3 yards per game, Leonard Fournette? Is that what Bruce Arians is going to do?
Hey, look, don't ask me. I'm not Bruce.
Oh, no, I know. Yeah, no, that's why I meant to specifically say Bruce Arians is the dumb, that is going to do this. Leonard Fournette had 3 yards per carry, and everybody's like, well, look in the playoffs. It's a different beast, man. It's a completely different game in the playoffs. It's not the same. Like, Leonard Fournette's going to actually ruin things for Tampa Bay at times, because he is just not a good runner. He's, at this point, I hate to say wash for a dude so young, but, I mean, he looks like it. Like, I don't know. Ronald Jones is the better athlete, but you're right. Leonard Fournette's probably going to get those carries.
Yeah. My heart says Ronald Jones, but I just know how Bruce Arians is. I'm with that said, I mean, I would prefer to put a little bit more Jones in there than Fournette. I mean, this is going to be one of those showdowns where you're just going to have to build a buttload of lineups, unfortunately, just with the dirt or the breadth of talent that is out on the field tonight. I might go ahead and get into like a 20 entry max and max it out and just play a bunch of combinations and see what happens. But just play for fun. Get
this first one, yes.
Yeah, just play for a little bit of fun, get a little bit of skin in the game, and just sweat it out, have fun, drink some beers with your buddies or whatever, and just enjoy football.
Or listen to the line change 8 to 11 tonight. You could do that.
Yeah, line change 8 to 11. Yep.
Last thing about this game, because I think we pretty much wrapped up the showdown lineups, right? Like that's everything we could possibly go over with showdown. Real quick, I mean, the spread is at 9.5. I don't know if you were a betting man, but just what do you think when you see or it's at 9, I think, going up to 9.5. Just what do you think when you see that line that high up? Yay or nay? It's a really shady line.
Just the questions on Dallas. I mean, I understand, but there's like 80% of the money or 84% of the money has gone to the Bucs side, so it is pushing that number up and up and up and up. I may take the Dallas side just to be different and throw a few dollars on it just to be different, because that's a really when you get up to numbers like that, you're talking NFL teams. I mean, they should be able to keep it within 10 points, but I mean, by the end of the game, I mean, they may get down by 2 or 3 scores, and then freaking, they just throw the ball and score a couple of touchdowns at the end of the game in garbage time, and that closes the gap. But at the same time, it's Tampa.
So I will say this.
Keep running.
I will say this just to, if you want to bet something, I think the way you should go is Tampa Bay, even with the spread that is so far in favor of Tampa Bay. It's not a great number. Just know that you're not getting a great number. You're not getting any value, but I think Tampa Bay is the better team and they win. Like Derek's saying, by 10 plus. But
it's probably safe.
The better in me, I'm not an expert, but somebody that knows a thing or two about a thing or two, don't bet this number. Don't. You missed out. If you didn't get 7.5, you didn't get even 8, just don't do it. This is way so far past the 6.5 number that it opened up at. You lost any single value in it. It's completely useless. And betting numbers is what you should be doing. Trying to bet the best number that you can get, because more often than not, if you do that, you're going to win bets because of it. Betting is, either just being below 50% or above 50%. If you're about 55%, 56%, you're coming out in the green. So in order to do that, the margin's so thin, you have to get the right numbers. And this one, you're just not getting it. It's completely not worth it at all to bet this. I would bet maybe a live line. Let's say Dallas gets up, jumps out to a 7-0 lead. And this could happen. They get the ball first. They drive down the field. Dak Prescott in the end zone, a CeeDee Lamb touchdown. They're up 7-0. That line drops maybe a point and a half, maybe 2. Like then you could start thinking, all right, now this is dropped in favor of a bet that I like. So I think just waiting this one out a little bit is the best way to go.
Yep. And that I remember the Super Bowl between Kansas City and San Francisco. I remember I ended up taking plus 440 odds for Kansas City to win that game in game.
That's exactly what you should do.
Because I got up. It's well like, done. No, Kansas City is one of the best third quarter teams in the NFL. San Francisco is not that freaking potent as far as being out. They're going to catch up. And sure enough, I 4x my money just playing around one day when I was sitting at a truck stop up in West Virginia.
So real quick, last thing before we go, rate his squad. Our guy Lee, Russell Wilson, Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Hopkins, CD. Oh man, is this a 8-team league or either a keeper league? But Gesicki, Goddard, flex Deontay Johnson. I mean, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that lineup.
That's
fantastic.
That's a solid freaking. The only ding that I would give if it's a redraft league is I'm not as high on Kamara as everybody else. But that I completely understand the justification for taking him.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that is it for us. Back to recover. I think so too. It's why I'm scared of it. But That is it for us. Subscribe, windailysports.com. Check out that projection model. And when you sign up, you also get the Discord chat where our guy Stoweby will be in there, as all of our DFS experts are, helping you set your lineups. And especially for tonight's Showdown lineup, I think it would be a good idea to maybe get a few more eyeballs on that one to make sure everything looks good. That is it for us at Win Daily Sports, sponsored by the Sharp app, also sponsored by Thrive. Make sure you go and sign up. Use the promo code WINDAILY when you sign up over at Thrive. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow right here, windailysports.com.